Good Thursday morning. Today is a first alert weather day, and look at it, it's only first alert weather day number 1. We have multiple over the next few days, but for today, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., Kittitas Valley, peak wind gusts between 50 to 55 miles per hour. We're already seeing gusts around 40 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley, up around 35 miles per hour this morning in the lower Columbia Basin. If you reside in the basin, you have probably heard your house or your residence shaking this morning. Look at these temperatures. It's 68 right now in the Tri-Cities. It is room temperature. Obviously, it feels a little bit cooler with some of the winds, but 40s and 50s up in the mountains. Tracking a few light showers for the basin and valleys. There's some slightly heavier rain off towards our west. It looks like the Cascades are going to eat up the bulk of that. Your day planner forecast for today, plenty of sunshine, but very windy. That's a big takeaway, and cooler compared to yesterday. Saturday, another round of winds after 2 p.m. Kittitas Valley, first alert weather day number 2. Peak gusts between 55 to 60 miles per hour. Then unfortunately, first alert weather day number 3. Sunday, Kittitas Valley, peak gust between 50 to 55 miles per hour. There's going to be very dry air, dry vegetation, so there will be a large fire start potential. I'll touch on all of this. Very busy morning coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Right now on Good Morning Northwest, a threatening call, a loaded gun, and a local middle school put on alert, what led to a secure and teach lockdown in Kennewick. And a high-speed chase and a dramatic canal jump. 2 suspects on the run this morning. Coming up, we have the latest on a wild early morning pursuit. Plus, dry conditions and rising heat. Fire crews are already battling flames across the region. Our William Albert will tell us what officials are doing to prepare for the busy wildfire season. It's all coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
Good Thursday morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us, joining us here for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jade Elliott. Jessica has the morning off, and we want to start this morning in Kennewick with a crime alert where a man's threats triggered a school safety response and ended with him being arrested. It all happened just after 10 o'clock yesterday morning near Highlands Middle School on 4th Avenue. Police say Dusty Zarte was FaceTiming a woman, threatening to kill her during that FaceTime, and was claiming that he was driving from Moses Lake to do that. Well, because she lives nearby the school, that school, Highlands Middle School, was placed on a secure and teach lockdown. Officers soon spotted Zarte's car. They found a weapon inside, and they took him into custody. He's now facing multiple charges, including felony harassment and unlawful possession of a firearm.
He was actually located in front of Highlands Middle School driving, and we did observe a firearm on the driver's side floorboard, and he is a convicted felon. In this case, there was a substantial amount of credibility to his threat, and we were there to make sure that everyone stayed safe, including the kids that are just there to learn, and make sure that these threats aren't carried out.
The school released their lockdown by about 11 o'clock, so everything is running normal on campus this morning. And staying in Kennewick, police are searching for 2 people after a high-speed chase ended in a dramatic crash early Wednesday morning. Take a look. It all happened around 2:30 a.m. Officers tried to stop this car near West 1st Avenue and South Benton Street. They were trying to stop it for an equipment violation, but instead the driver sped off, launching the car over a canal embankment. Both the people inside the car got out and ran from the scene, still on the run this morning. The car was seized for a search warrant, but police are asking if you know where those people can be found or anything about this incident to call Kennewick Police. And in Richland, the police department says they responded to the reports of a potential threat with ties to Carmichael Middle School. On Tuesday evening, a student claimed another student made threatening statements and displayed a large sum of cash along with a picture of a firearm. The student said they intended to purchase the weapon and harm those who he said owed him money. The student was later arrested at home. They are continuing to investigate all of this. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Richland Police Department. And staying in Richland now, where some new details are emerging after last week's deadly workplace incident. We now know the name of the construction worker who died. Police say he was 21-year-old John Palomino. The Richland Police Department responded to the call around 9:30 on Friday morning on Epic Street. They say Palomino was getting out of a front end loader when the machine started to roll, crushing him at the scene. When medics arrived, they did perform life-saving measures, but sadly, Palomino died at the scene. 5:04 now, taking you to Yakima, where we're following up on the last week's reports from Safe Yakima Valley, reporting an overdose spike, and they say that that spike is still going. The organization says there have been 11 new overdoses in just the last 24 hours, adding to the 20 from last week, bringing the total to 31 cases in just a few days. Authorities say fentanyl is to blame, a synthetic opioid. It's actually carfentanil. It's a synthetic opioid 100 times stronger than fentanyl. It's being mixed into heroin, cocaine, and fake pills, and oftentimes it's without the users knowing. So officials urge the public to keep naloxone on hand. That is the drug that can reverse an overdose. 5:05, and as we head into summer, temperatures, of course, starting to rise. Fire crews in Franklin County staying prepared for what could be a busy wildfire season. Apple Valley News Now's William Albert shows us how one fire district is remaining vigilant heading into fire season.
Franklin County firefighters are gearing up for fire season, recently wrapping up their annual wildland fire training this spring. Crews reviewed safety procedures and emergency protocols, making sure they're ready to handle whatever comes their way in the field. Franklin County District 3 Fire Chief Mike Harris says this training helps keep firefighters well-rounded and familiar with life-saving equipment.
We go through and do some safety components. We take our fire shelters that we carry in our wildland packs, our aluminum foil tent, if you will, that we carry on our line gear, and they're a last-ditch effort if we were going to get overrun by fire.
So far, Franklin County firefighters from District 3 have responded to 2 smaller wildland fires. However, they say as the months get hotter, the chances for bigger fires increase.
Chief Harris says even something as simple as tracking the weather plays a huge role in predicting how a fire might behave and where it might go.
And we take a look at what the National Weather Service puts out, and we look at wind and temperature and the chance of lightning or even the haze for stability. All of those kind of dictate what the wildland fire behavior can do. And that's the difference between something that may be moderate spread that we can catch really quick with our resources, or we know that in the afternoon it's going to take off and run in the wind, and now it's going to require more personnel.
Many fires, Chief Harris says, start from simple carelessness, like ignoring burn restrictions or trying to burn too much at once.
Not raking the dry grass into small piles and burning them. They try to burn off all the grass at once. And then it gets away from them with all it takes is a small wind gust.
While preparation can help minimize damage, Chief Harris says nature still has the final say.
And once we get all said and done and we kind of contain the fire and we look back at what's left over, is we do all we can with our equipment and our training, but the fire always has a vote. We can collectively say we're going to cut the fire off, we're going to go on the road, we're going to stop the fire here. But then the power pole was damaged because we always say the fire has a vote. It's going to get one vote, which is the power pole, the fence, the trees, or the house.
In Pasco, William Albert, Apple Valley News Now.
Now, Chief Harris says they could see as many as 30 wildland fires a month this summer if dry conditions persist. And it's not just Franklin County. Firefighters across the region are keeping a close eye as they prepare for a busy fire season. One of the most active wildfires right now, the Butte Creek Fire, that's burning just 9 miles north of Clarno. We're told that is now 20% contained. That fire has burned over 1,700 acres. You see the video sent in to us by Brian Dexter of that helicopter getting some water there from that nearby waterway, trying to get this fire put out. Now, just across the Columbia River, the Patterson Slough fire is still burning, but now sitting at 70% contained. That fire started on May 25th as thunderstorms moved through the area. It is 5:09, still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. We have some money-saving travel tips just in time for your next summer vacay. And speaking of summer, it's starting to feel like it outside. Giving you a live look from our Bi-Mart camera in Yakima. Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert will have your first alert forecast when we come back.
With McValue at McDonald's, you'll get deals on drinks whenever you hit the afternoon slump.
We've got your pick-me-up covered because medium drinks are now $2.29. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Ryan wants to get every new device that's smart. I'm wondering, how can the internet handle all of this?
We have Spectrum Internet. We use it for everything. Homework, remote work from home, doing research for trips.
Spectrum Internet allows us to do things faster and more conveniently.
I feel like that's a win-win for everybody.
Fast, reliable internet starting at $30 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep you connected.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong, steady, unwavering. Like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. In every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Get the freedom to save and 0.9% financing for 60 months on this Silverado. That's over $6,600 in average finance savings. See your community Chevy dealers.
For 600 different cigars and 125 pipe tobaccos. For every cigar rated 96 and higher by Cigar Aficionado. For 200 accessories including dozens of humidors and fine pipes. It's the educated cigar.
Phones were made to help us connect, yet somehow they've made us less connected. Which is ironic. Don't you think? We try to put our phones down, but we need to pick them up to see the menu. We can't watch something without also watching something else. Ironic. But look, here's a phone company who wants you to use your phone less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Traffic jam. Ugh, and I'm already late.
When you say let's go to breakfast, you mean let's go to McDonald's. Obviously.
Get the morning going when you buy one breakfast sandwich and get another one for $1.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
For the team ready to conquer the grandest stage, immortality awaits. An unforgettable journey is nearing its finale. The NBA Finals begin June 5th on ABC.
The 3-Degree Guarantee, sponsored by Legends Casino Hotel.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Yes, today is a first alert weather day because of the winds, and of course we will talk about that a lot later in the show. But for now, I want to focus on temperatures. It's pretty mild out there this morning. 64 in Ellensburg, 68 in Vantage. We are in the mid to upper 60s in the Yakima Valley. 65 for Grandview, 68 in Yakima. Look at this, 70. It is 5:12 in the morning, and it's 70 degrees up towards the Hanford site. 68 in Prosser, and then in the Blue Foothills, 50s and 60s for places like Lexington and Heppner, and we're mostly in the 60s for Pendleton North, 40s and 50s for the higher terrain of the Blue Mountains. Here is your coat cast for this morning for the Tri-Cities. I was debating on going with a t-shirt this morning, at least for the graphic, but given the winds that are out there, windbreaker, very light jacket will probably be necessary for this morning, but later today it will be t-shirt weather. It's still going to be warm for this time of the year, but not as warm as yesterday. So for today, small shower chances up in the Cascades. The rest of us should be dry, mostly sunny skies out there. And again, the highs about 5 to 10 degrees above average for this time of the year, so 70s and 80s for lower elevations. Then for tonight, clear skies, calmer winds after 8 p.m. Overnight lows down into the 40s and 50s for lower elevations, 30s and 40s up in the mountains. So not as mild as this morning, but still cool/mild out there. And we have more winds for this weekend, a fire start potential as well. So lots to talk about coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Josh. 5:13, and we're talking money this morning and how maybe you could try to save some of it, specifically when planning that next trip, from booking on a certain day of the week to even searching using incognito mode. There are quite a few hacks to get you the best deal on travel, but do they really work? Well, Lionel Moise has the tips and tricks that do work, and he says they'll help you save some cash on your next adventure.
It's that time of year, and booking your family's summer vacation without breaking the bank can be daunting.
Getting a really good deal on travel, I think for some households can feel like a full-time job in and of itself. Price checking multiple websites, trying incognito mode.
But experts say some of those travel hacks are actually myths, like booking your travel on Tuesday to get the best rate.
The reality is that Airfares in particular change so often that there isn't a single day of the week or time of the day where you're guaranteed to get the best deal on your trip.
Instead, you can try a price monitoring tool to track price changes real time based on your destination, travel dates, and even airport. Although there isn't a specific day you should click book, which day you fly can make a difference. Experts say traveling on Tuesday or Wednesday is often the cheapest option.
This can even mean just shifting out of a Sunday return and taking a 6 or 7 a.m. Monday morning flight for as much as 20% savings. On international trips, that can be hundreds of dollars in savings just by shifting your days.
Or save by shifting your hotel nights for a weekend getaway.
If it's possible for you to shift your 2 nights away to be Sunday night and Monday night, you can typically save an average of about $86 in the US, but upwards of $300 in particular cities like Las Vegas.
And you don't need to book your hotel months in advance like your flight. You can get massive deals by waiting.
If you're headed to a major city, prices will drop at the last minute between 12 and 48 hours before your check-in dates. So waiting until the last minute will actually save you a lot more than booking far in advance.
But if you choose to wait it out, experts say you'll need to be flexible on where you stay, as some properties could sell out. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
And the savings don't stop once you land. You can still save while on vacation by finding free activities in the area or by using public transportation rather than taxis or ride shares. If you want to save all around, you can opt to travel during the off seasons to avoid peak pricing. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. When we come back, we will check back in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth. He will have your first alert forecast, talking about what we can expect today and headed into the weekend. Give you a live look outside from Yakima on our Bi-Mart camera. It is 5:16. We'll be right back.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing, you pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer.
For 600 different cigars and 125 pipe tobaccos. For every cigar rated 96 and higher by Cigar Aficionado. For 200 accessories including dozens of humidors and fine pipes. It's the educated cigar.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong, steady, unwavering. Like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. In every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Get the freedom to save and 3.9% financing on all 2025 Silverado 2500 pickups when you finance with GM Financial. See your community Chevy dealers.
Fred's Appliance. Veteran founded, family owned, locally since 1962. Come check out what's on sale this Memorial Day. Like this LG refrigerator with spacious French doors, smart cooling, and sleek stainless steel design. It's built for busy families, midnight snackers, and the serious organizers. 30% truckload savings on the fridge that has it all. At Fred's, we have thousands of items in stock, making us the smartest and most convenient choice. We're local, like you.
Here comes the sun. Get moving with a new car from Overturf Kia. Find your ride with the new 2025 Kia Carnival LXS. Named best in class for cargo and passenger space. Now just $38,990. Plus, get 3.9% interest for up to 48 months. Overturf Kia at the base of the Blue Bridge in Kennewick.
Apple Valley News Now is Kennewick.
Apple Valley News Now is Richland.
Apple Valley News Now is Walla Walla.
From the Blues to the Cascades, one television station is everywhere you want us to be. Apple Valley News Now.
On your side.
ET and Extra, tonight at 7 on Apple Valley News Now.
Extra, extra.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Yes, today is a first alert weather day, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Kittitas Valley, peak gusts between 50 to 55 miles per hour. Just keep in mind, Obviously, it's breezy/windy for this morning, but the peak of the peak, the cream of the crop, is going to be from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you see across the map, it's really going to be breezy and windy out there. Tracking a few light showers in the basin and the valleys. Could see another round up in the Cascades for later this morning. I'm thinking the Cascades are going to catch pretty much all of that moisture, so the rest of us should be dry and mostly sunny out there. We'll continue to keep the forecast mostly dry through about Monday. There's going to be a chance for some showers in the foothills and mountains, even a little mountain shower chance in the Cascades on Saturday. But then for Tuesday, slightly more widespread chances of showers, but it does not look like we're going to get that much rainfall from that system at all. High temperatures staying summer-like through Saturday. Big cool down from Saturday to Sunday. Pretty spring-like once again from Sunday through Wednesday. But this big drop off in temperatures, usually when we have that around these parts, that means some very strong wind gusts. That is exactly what's going to happen on Saturday after 2 p.m. Peak gust around 60 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley, 55 miles per hour in the Blue Foothills of Morrow County. Even in the Tri-Cities, we could see gusts around 45 miles per hour. So first alert weather day on Saturday after 2 p.m. for the Kittitas Valley. Then on Sunday, these wind gusts a little bit lighter, not by much though, as peak gusts could still be around 55 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley, and you factor in just how dry some of the air could be. Here's the relative humidity forecast for Sunday. Now keep in mind, when we start to see values below 25, 20%, that indicates very dry air. Look at what it's going to be in Ellensburg, 20%, 15% in Yakima. But in Ellensburg, that's where we're going to have that combination of very dry vegetation, dry air, and those very strong winds. So that's why there is the potential for fires to start and spread very quickly. We would highly recommend exercising all of that fire safety. Here is the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Hot and dry today, maybe a sprinkle left over from tonight into tomorrow. But our, excuse me, I'm actually reading the wrong 7-day. 7-day for the Tri-Cities, we'll see highs fluctuating between the 80s and 90s through Sunday, then staying in the 80s for Monday through Wednesday. In Yakima, kind of the same thing, except we'll actually drop down into the upper 70s for Sunday and Monday. Then in Ellensburg, a lot of first alert weather days over the next few days. The one I'm most concerned about is Sunday for that fire start potential. In Hermiston, we'll have a little chance of some showers into next week on Tuesday, but otherwise a pretty similar forecast to the Tri-Cities. Then for Walla Walla, about 10 to 30% shower chances Monday through Wednesday as highs slip back down into the 70s.
522, still much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Reality star couple, the Chrisleys, officially free after being pardoned from President Trump. So what's next for the couple? We'll let you know. That's coming up in your entertainment headlines after the break.
At Consumer Reports,
we're testers.
This organization accepts no advertising or sponsorship.
Since 1936.
Testing dishwashers, TVs, cars, vacuums.
We buy directly from stores, just like you.
Making sure products are safe.
And that they last.
Because we're advocates.
Engineers and scientists. We're testers. We're Consumer Reports.
Join us.
Got a family reunion in the works? Make it unforgettable at Beaver Valley Lodge. With cozy rooms, beautiful mountain views, and plenty of space to gather, it's the perfect place to reconnect and make new memories. Book direct with us and get 10% off. That means more savings for barbecues, bonfires, and all those late-night laughs. So skip the middleman and book direct today, because great reunions start with the perfect place to stay. Beaver Valley Lodge. Come as a guest and leave as a friend.
For 600 different cigars and 125 pipe tobaccos. For every cigar rated 96 and higher by Cigar Aficionado. For 200 accessories including dozens of humidors and fine pipes. It's the educated cigar.
Spring is calling. Are you ready? At Queensgate Gardens in Richland, adventure starts in your own backyard. From lush hanging baskets to vibrant landscape flowers and garden starts, we've got everything to make your space bloom. Let's grow something amazing. Queensgate Gardens in Richland, where adventure grows.
It's the Jayco Summer Escape event at Broadmoor RV, June 6th through the 8th. Our biggest sale of the year is here, like the J-Flight SLX 170 BHW, just $15,990, or the spacious SLX 260 BHW for only $23,990. Family owned and family focused. We're here to help you go make memories in a brand new Jayco RV. Only at Broadmoor RV, June 6th through the 8th. Don't miss it.
Get ready, Walla Walla. The sweetest season is here. Join us at the ballpark as the Walla Walla Sweets hit the field for another unforgettable season. Whether you're a diehard fan or just looking for a fun night out, there's something for everyone at a Walla Walla Sweets game. Grab your peanuts, popcorn, and Lucky Cap, because this season the Walla Walla Sweets are bringing the thrill of baseball right to your backyard. Don't miss out on the excitement. Get your tickets now and be part of the Walla Walla Sweets experience. Let's play ball.
Judy Justice.
And I'm just getting started.
Today at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
Welcome back. 5:25 in your entertainment news this morning. The husband and wife team who went from being reality TV stars to being prison inmates are now headed back to reality TV.
Yep, came full circle. The latest to benefit from a presidential pardon. Andrew Dimbert has the details.
This morning, reality TV realtors Todd and Julie Chrisley are home free.
I didn't have to deal with this in prison.
The Chrisley Knows Best stars walking out of prison last night thanks to a pardon from President Trump.
They thought they were going to be here for 12 and 7 years. So I think there's going to be some PTSD.
The pair was convicted of tax evasion and fraud in 2023. Prosecutors saying the two scammed banks out of more than $30 million, spending it on luxury cars, homes, and clothes.
I brought absolutely nothing with me because I'm just a daughter who wants to take my dad home with me.
But their daughter, Savannah, waiting for her dad's release, claimed her parents were politically persecuted because of their conservative views.
There were Fourth Amendment violations. They accused my family of terrorism just to run a financial report. There were Brady violations. I mean, you name it, it was done in our case. They had my father's face on a dartboard, and that right there is not justice.
It's one in a string of new pardons coming out of the Oval Office, including pardons for at least a dozen people with known financial or political ties to the Trump administration.
Trump is using his pardon power earlier and more broadly than he did in his first term as president, with many of the pardons going to his political supporters or political allies.
Just yesterday, Trump pardoned two Republican politicians, both convicted of tax fraud and other crimes. And he says he's considering pardons for the men behind a plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Well, as for the newly freed Chrisleys, they're about to get back to work. A TV series about their time behind bars is already in production. Makes sense. It's what they know, reality TV.
Sure, one trick pony.
Well, and you know everyone will want to know their stories.
We live in a tea-consuming society, so I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. A controversial gun law is coming to Washington, but some sheriffs say they won't enforce it. Why they're taking a stand and what it means for gun owners statewide. Plus.
Hey, Mr. Little Bear. How are you today?
Hey, Mr. Bear. Caught on camera, a surprise trail guest in Walla Walla has hikers doing a double take. We have more on this bear and the unexpected encounter and what officials want you to know before your next hike.
In today's Tech Bites, a possible security threat at Victoria's Secret. The company took down its website yesterday, citing an ongoing security incident. A pop-up message on the Victoria's Secret page said they are working around the clock to fully restore operations. It is unclear if any customer's data was compromised. Next, Google Photos is adding several AI features aimed at helping edit images. They include the Auto Frame tool, which suggests different ways to crop or widen images and uses AI to fill in blank spaces. The Reimagine feature lets users add anything to photos just by describing it. Finally, Starbucks is accepting applications for a global content creator. You and another employee will spend a year traveling to unique Starbucks locations around the world, documenting your journey one cup at a time. You can apply through June 13th. No word on salary. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Wow. New Swiffer Mop Deluxe is made for small spaces. For clean, even Mom approves of.
That's new.
Just grab a pad and go. The built-in solution traps dirt and locks it away.
Wow, still white.
The upgraded strip has 75% more scrubbing power.
Still clean.
And with the new locking head, getting into tight spaces is simple.
Can I borrow it?
The all-new Swiffer Mop Deluxe, the mother of all cleans.
Sometimes you just need a moment. Self-care has never been this easy. Gummy vitamins from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
We were tired of cleaning out our gutters every few months.
And I wanted him off that ladder, so we got Leaf Filter.
Leaf Filter is a permanent gutter solution, so you never have to worry about damage from clogged gutters again. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER today or visit leaffilter.com.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good Thursday morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us, joining us here for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jade Elliott.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
Almost forgot what day it was. It's Thursday. It's Thursday.
Friday, Junior. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Little Friday.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. I haven't looked. How's that 3-degree guarantee?
It went up. It went up again.
It went up, just like the temperatures.
Yep. So.
Just like your ego.
A little bit. What can I say? All right. So yes, it did go up. The jackpot, that is. Let's go ahead and.
And your ego and the temperatures.
I'm getting called out this morning. So the jackpot's now up to $850. Yesterday I went with the forecast high of 93 in Pasco Tri-Cities. It verified at 91. So yes, the jackpot did go up. For today, a cooler 87. So if the forecast verifies between 84 to 90, the jackpot's going to hit $875. If that doesn't happen, the jackpot could be yours. Find out how to win the jackpot by going to applevalleynewsnow.com, clicking on the contest page. You can scan the QR code that's on your screen. Okay, today is First Alert Weather Day #1. We've got 3 over the next few days. So it's #1 for today, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the Kittitas Valley. Some of those peak gusts could be between 50 to 55 miles per hour. Already for this morning, they're gusting around 35 to 40 miles per hour. So remember, the peak of the strongest winds, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. That doesn't mean it's not going to be windy for this morning, as it obviously very much is. Okay, temperatures pretty mild. Even I'd say this is warm in northern portions of Benton County, 72 up towards the Hanford site. The rest of us for lower elevations mostly sitting in the 60s, 40s, and 50s up in the mountains. There are a few light sprinkles at this point in the Kittitas Valley and the lower Columbia Basin. There is some slightly heavier rain off towards our west. Looks like the Cascades are going to eat up pretty much all of that. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast for today for the Tri-Cities. Cooler compared to yesterday, but still plenty of sunshine. And we'll keep it about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than normal for the end of May. I'll take you on that zone-by-zone tour of today's forecast. Also, we'll preview just how dry some of those fire fuels are going to be for this weekend. So all that's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Josh. I'm starting this half hour with a major change to Washington's gun laws, and it's facing some serious pushback from sheriffs across the state. Starting in 2027, residents will need a permit, fingerprinting, and live fire training before they can legally purchase a firearm. But some sheriffs are saying that the law just goes too far. So under House Bill 1163, Washingtonians will need to complete a certified safety course and demonstrate firearm proficiency with at least 50 rounds fired at a range. Now, supporters say it will reduce gun violence, but sheriffs in Pierce, Grant, and Adams counties are pushing back. Pierce County Sheriff Keith Swank saying his office won't enforce the law, calling it politically motivated and possibly unconstitutional. In Adams County, Sheriff Dale Wagner says it puts law-abiding citizens at risk of criminal charges simply for lacking access to permits, especially in rural areas. And Grant County Sheriff Joe Crate agreeing, saying the law burdens responsible gun owners while doing little to deter actual violent crimes. Now, so far, none of the sheriffs have pledged to openly defy the law, except Sheriff Swank in Pierce County. Legal challenges are expected before the law takes effect in 2027. Be sure to stay with Good Morning Northwest as we continue to follow this growing debate. Now on to developing news out of Kennewick. It's been nearly 20 years since beloved Chi-B teacher and coach Bob Mars was murdered in a brutal gang initiation attack. Now the 2 teens convicted in the 2004 killing, Jordan Castillo and Robert Suarez, are petitioning for early release from prison. Both were sentenced to more than 25 years for first-degree murder. A community concern hearing is set for June 23rd in Lacey, where Mars's family and supporters will share impact statements. 5:34, taking you to Yakima now. The Washington Trust for Historic Preservation has officially added the Yakima Valley Trolleys to its 2024 Most Endangered Places list. Built back in 1907, the Yakima Valley Trolleys are one of the last surviving unmodernized interurban electric railroads in the entire country. The line started as a Yakima streetcar system before it was purchased in 1909 and eventually donated to the city. Well, today it operates as both a museum and a rare example of early electric transit. But the future of the trolleys could be decided soon. Yakima City Council is expected to make a final decision during their June 17th meeting, where they'll vote on design plans for 6th Avenue, plans that could impact the trolley lines directly. New this morning, Legends Casino is making a regional impact as it donates more than $1 million in grants to 135 different organizations. It was all made possible through the Yakima Cares and the Community Impact Fund. One of the recipients of the Community Impact Grant was the Yakima County Sheriff's Office, which consists of their lead drug task force team, the Sheriff's Office as a unit itself, along with the Yakima's regional SWAT team, which consists of 8 different agencies within the Yakima County area. Yakima County Sheriff's Office says this grant will help them replace aging equipment like AEDs, along with acquiring some new gear.
A mobile piece of armor that they could be moving around that's rated to help out with rifle type rounds, because we are seeing more and more higher powered rifles out there that are out there they're stolen and being on the streets, and we're taken away from the streets. So that gives us an opportunity to purchase something like that when we have a very limited budget within our regional SWAT team.
Yakima County Sheriff's Office says the regional SWAT team received a little over $18,000. The Sheriff's Office received roughly $43,000. The Drug Task Force received nearly $12,200, all through the Legends Casino Community Impact Fund. 5:36 now, and most high schoolers wrap up their senior year with finals, maybe a few college applications. But a group of students in Pasco just wrapped up a project that could land them a paycheck. Apple Valley News Now's Dan Hansen has the story.
Most high school projects don't land on the market for over $500,000, but this one behind me did. These students are laying the groundwork for their future careers. This is Team Pasco Home 2025, the 25th house constructed entirely by students through the Pasco School District's Construction Trades program. And this 2,000 square foot beauty isn't just a class project. It's a fully furnished, market-ready home with an open layout, 3 bedrooms, a flex room, and a deep 2-car garage.
I was planning on going into music education, and I took this class and ended up changing my career path into going into the union and going into trades.
Every nail, every coat of paint, every finish, done by the students, under the guidance of industry professionals and experienced instructors.
They go through the process of all the skills tests, all the safety tests, all personal protective equipment stuff. And I also make them do some of the math as far as calculating how many square feet of flooring we need, how many square feet of siding we need, that sort of thing.
For Gavin, this hands-on experience turned into a life-changing opportunity. He's been offered a paid internship with Bowden Constructions, starting at more than $40 an hour with benefits.
Access to skilled labor, the demand for that is at an all-time high. And there's fewer and fewer young folks getting into the trades. So I've seen a statistic that for every 4 people getting out of the skilled trades, there's 1 young person getting into the skilled trades. So we have to think differently about how to expose the next generation of builders.
Gavin will soon help build the upcoming Pasco Aquatic Center, another high-profile project for his resume before he's even graduated. And it's not just a win for students. After a special presentation, the community was invited to tour the home, seeing firsthand the craftsmanship and care put into every room. For these students, the real value is what they've built along the way. Reporting in Pasco, Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.
5:38, and taking you to Walla Walla this morning. This next one might have you thinking twice before your morning hike, especially if you're headed out to Rooks Park in Walla Walla. That's where one walker had a very surprising start to the weekend.
Hey, Mr. Little Bear. How are you today?
That's exactly what I would say to a bear if I saw it too. Hey, Mr. Little Bear. This was the scene Saturday morning caught on video by Drake Gurnett at Mill Creek Dam and Bennington Lake. That is an adolescent bear strolling casually down the trail. like it owns the place, right? U.S. Army Corps of Engineer asking folks to keep pets leashed and pack out all garbage so that we don't accidentally invite more furry visitors to the area. If you're planning a hike, maybe also bring some bear spray, leave your picnic basket at home. That is...
Hey, Mr. Little Bear.
Mr. Little Bear. That's not a sight that I want to come upon. Absolutely not. But he just moseys on his way. All right. Good to know they're out there, right? 5:39, still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Goats stolen from a farm in Vancouver, Washington. They are now back home and safe this morning. Coming up, we'll hear from the farmer after being reunited with his beloved livestock.
Wendy Redmond, Austin Reed, Stacey Lee weather. Apple Valley News Now on your side.
With McValue at McDonald's, you'll get deals on drinks whenever you hit the afternoon slump.
We've got your pick-me-up covered because medium drinks are now $2.29. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Workers and the families of deceased workers who worked at the Hanford site are now eligible for compensation for diseases and illnesses. This may be in addition to compensation already being received. Smart Law will be hosting a Hanford Workers' Compensation educational dinner at their Kennewick office Thursday, June 26th at 6 p.m. To register, call 509-735-5555. Dinner provided. Smart Law, smart choice.
Online security is, like, as a mom, one of the very highest priorities. There's so many things that we have to watch out for. With Spectrum, I don't have to worry about it. I know when my kids are on their devices, they are protected because I'm not always sitting right next to them. The reliability, the connectivity, the security, everything is kind of all in one. That absolutely makes it worth it to me.
Fast, reliable internet starting at $30 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep you connected.
At Smoke City for Less, we understand every smoker is unique. Explore our over 1,500 vape flavors and specialty curated selection of tobacco products. Your perfect flavor and blend awaits at any of Smoke City for Less 6 locations. Save your pennies. Smoke City for Less has the lowest prices. Find the best vape mods, batteries, kratom, and specialty products too. Our knowledgeable staff is always on hand to provide personalized recommendations. Smoke City for Less. We smoke the competition.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing. You pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer.
When you say let's go to breakfast, you mean let's go to McDonald's. Obviously.
Get the morning going when you buy one breakfast sandwich and get another one for $1.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This morning, it's Quinta at GMA.
Looking to see my friends again.
Yes! And GMA is right there as Abbott Elementary's Quinta Brunson receives the key to Philly.
I'm just so pumped.
This morning, only on
Good Morning America.
For the team ready to conquer the grandest stage, immortality awaits. An unforgettable journey is nearing its finale. The NBA Finals begin June 5th on ABC.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Yes, it is a first alert weather day because of the winds. We're going to have winds all over the map for today, but especially in the Kittitas Valley, some of those peak gusts could be around 55 miles per hour. In the Yakima Valley, this is probably going to be the least windy portion of the viewing area, but still some of those gusts could be around 35 miles per hour. Mostly sunny day, highs in the low 80s. In the lower Columbia Basin, these gusts spanning from 35 to 45 miles per hour will be cooler compared to yesterday, but still about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than normal. Will be around 87 in the Tri-Cities. A mixture of 70s and 80s in the Blue Foothills, 60s and 70s up in the Blue Mountains. It's going to be windy here. Those peak gusts out of the west and northwest, around 45 miles per hour, specifically in the Blue Foothills of Morrow County. Now let's pivot to this weekend. Let's talk about some of that fire-fueled data, Sunday's vegetation dryness forecast. Remember, the 100th percentile would indicate the driest vegetation we've seen since 2005. We're going to be up into the 78th percentile on Sunday in the Cascades, the Kittitas Valley, and the upper Yakima Valley. So we would classify that as very dry. You factor in some of the wind gusts that we could see for Sunday, especially in the Kittitas Valley, peak gusts between 50 to 55 miles per hour. That's why we're going with a first alert weather day on Sunday due to the potential for fires to start and spread very rapidly. But that's just first alert weather day number 3. I'll talk about first alert weather days number 1 and 2 coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Josh. 544. And here in Washington State, 2 baby goats that were stolen from a feed store on Monday are now back home safe. They were discovered Tuesday morning walking along a nearby road. Carly Olson spoke to the relieved owner.
Wake up there, kiddo.
Andrew.
You're tired, aren't you, little buddy, huh?
And Andrew, exhausted and resting back home after a big adventure.
Well, I can't believe how tired they are.
It's an outcome that store manager Tom Hughes wasn't sure would happen.
It was kind of traumatic, that's for sure. I mean, they're family, and this is a family-owned business, so, you know, we're all real close here.
He got a call Tuesday morning from Vancouver police telling him someone spotted the goats on Lower River Road.
I think they felt the pressure of the media, and, you know, we put it all over. It was all over the social media.
Regardless of the reason, the Andrews are back home, but the livestock theft and burglary charges against the thieves now include abandonment.
I'm surprised they survived through the night, to be honest with you. They just left them out there to fend for themselves, and they're just little guys, you know.
Staff members will be bringing the goats inside at night to make sure this doesn't happen again. And even though they're relieved, they won't rest until the suspect is caught.
What were you thinking, you know? I mean, how could you do something like that? You know, I mean, they're just, and then turn around and dump them out in the middle of nowhere to where they have to fend for themselves with the coyotes and the predators and things like that, you know? I mean, we're lucky they're still alive, in my opinion.
Reporting in Vancouver, Carly Olson, Fox 12 Oregon.
Oh, poor little babies. Glad they're back home. And even though those goats are back home, there was a rabbit that was also stolen from that feed store Sunday evening, and that little rabbit is still missing. All right, still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up next, I have your morning sprint, everything you need to know before you head out the door this morning. And Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth will be back with your full first alert forecast, talking about not 1, but 3 first alert weather days. It's 5:46. We're back after the break.
Hey, your homework done?
Yep.
Hey, is your homework done?
This kind of is homework. So, what do you think?
I'm so proud of you. Can I play some more?
Is all your work done?
Washington's Lottery is a proud partner in the goal to promote college and career training. Each time you play, you're helping students statewide.
For 600 different cigars and 125 pipe tobaccos. For every cigar rated 96 and higher by Cigar Aficionado. For 200 accessories, including dozens of humidors and fine pipes. It's the educated cigar.
I'm Eduardo Morfin. Morfin Law Firm thanks you for 5 years of support. Remember, when choosing an attorney, select a local attorney that supports your local community.
Most people who have lived through an opioid overdose have something in common. They didn't do it alone. Someone was there when they OD'd. Someone had naloxone. Someone called for help. So, if you use opioids like fentanyl, know who your someone is. Use with them when you can. Have naloxone with you. And make sure your someone is ready to help you if you need it. Just like you would for them.
What makes NUU unique? The amazing customer service that we offer to our patients. They know that they're heard, that they're listened to, and we genuinely care about their well-being.
From the second I walked in that office, I felt seen, I felt heard, I didn't feel judged. It just was like, we're a team and we're gonna figure this out.
I had a rare form of breast cancer. Dr. Fedino has just been fantastic. She was really just on my side and helping me, and I'm so relieved and blessed that I went there.
I'm nowhere near diabetic, and I feel amazing. And I lost 55 pounds, and I've been able to keep it off.
She had saved my life because if she hadn't taken just that moment to ask me one extra question, I absolutely would have had an ugly cancer 6 months later.
Go to NUUWomen'sClinic.com to explore the countless ways that wellness meets beauty.
Stacy Lee, KapKView First Alert Weather. Watch tonight.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Today is First Alert Weather Day number 1. We got 2 more of these things. I'll tell you about it in a second. But yeah, the first one, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., Kittitas Valley, peak gusts between 50 to 55 miles per hour. Now, it's already windy for this morning, but keep in mind, we're talking about the peak of the strongest wind gusts here, which is going to be, again, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Across the map, we're going to see windy conditions, but we could see some spotty power outages, down tree limbs, and difficult travel for high-profile vehicles on I-90, I-82, and Washington 821. We will have some rainfall associated with the system for today. Not very much at all, though, for lower elevations. Maybe a few sprinkles in the basin or the valleys. And then potentially some slightly heavier rainfall up in the Cascades a little bit later this morning. Looks like, I mean, when I say heavier, it's still going to end up being pretty light. I don't think we're going to pick up much rainfall from the system at all. And in fact, our forecast staying pretty dry over the next 7 days. We'll have a little chance of a shower up in the Cascades for Saturday, maybe some mountain and foothill action for Monday, slightly more widespread shower chances for Tuesday. But again, it doesn't look like we're going to squeeze that much rainfall out of those storm systems. High temperatures staying summer-like through Saturday, pretty spring-like for Sunday and beyond. And whenever you have, this is going to be about a 15-degree temperature drop-off from Saturday to Sunday. Usually when that happens, you can expect some pretty gusty winds. That's exactly what's going to happen on Saturday after 2 p.m. Look at the Kittitas Valley, peak gust around 60 miles per hour. So we're going with another First Alert Weather Day on Saturday. That would be First Alert Weather Day number 2. And then for Sunday, the winds are going to be slightly, they're going to be a little bit weaker, but look at the Kittitas Valley, still peak gust around 55 miles per hour. Then you factor in how dry the air is going to be. Remember, when the relative humidity gets below 25 to 20%, that's when we would classify the air as being very dry. It's going to be right at 20% in the Kittitas Valley on Sunday. So you factor in the winds, the air, and just how dry the vegetation is in this neck of the woods. Yeah, we're concerned about fires starting and spreading very quickly. So please exercise all the fire safety tips you've learned over the years. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Windy today and Saturday, then perhaps a shower or 2 for Tuesday. In Yakima, breezy today, but stronger gusts in store for Saturday, experiencing a big cool down from Saturday to Sunday. In Ellensburg, strong wind gusts today, Saturday and Sunday, and of course that potential for large wildfire starts on Sunday. In Hermiston, windy today and Saturday, breezy weather lingers as we turn cooler next week. Then for Walla Walla, warming up to around 90 on Saturday, then back into the 70s with small shower chances Monday through Wednesday.
Now, the morning sprint.
Thanks, Josh. 5:51, time for your morning sprint. The top 5 local things you need to know this morning. Highlands Middle School was placed under a secure and teach protocol for about 30 minutes yesterday. It was a precaution following a report of a man threatening his wife over FaceTime, allegedly displaying a firearm and stating he was en route from Moses Lake to kill her. Police apprehended the suspect near the school and found a firearm in his car. And early Tuesday morning around 2 a.m., Kennewick police attempted to stop a vehicle for an equipment violation near West 1st Avenue and South Benton Street. Well, the driver fled, launching the car over a canal embankment. Both people inside the car got out and ran away and remain at large this morning. Vehicle has been seized pending a search warrant. Authorities asking anyone with information to contact Kennewick Police. And sheriffs in Pierce, Grant, and Adams counties have expressed opposition to Washington's upcoming gun law. House Bill 1163, set to take effect in 2027. The law mandates permits and live fire training for firearm purchases. Sheriff Keith Swank of Pierce County stating his office will not enforce the law, citing constitutional concerns. And 2 men convicted in the 2004 murder of Kiona Benton teacher and coach Bob Mars are seeking early release. Jordan Castillo and Robert Suarez, sentenced to nearly 30 years each, have applied for hearings before the Sentence Review Board. A community concern hearing is set for June 23rd in Lacey. And the Legends Casino Hotel is distributing over $1 million in grants through the Yakima Cares program and Community Impact Fund. The Yakima County Sheriff's Office received approximately $43,000 in grant money to replace aging equipment, including AEDs. Regional SWAT team and Drug Task Force also receiving funding to enhance their operations. 5:53 in your national headlines this morning. The Trump administration immediately appealed a federal court's decision on Wednesday, which blocked most of President Trump's sweeping tariffs. And that includes the so-called Liberation Day tariffs Trump announced in April. And the duties he placed on China, Mexico, and Canada earlier this year, designed to combat fentanyl coming into the U.S. It's a major legal blow to Trump's global trade agenda and sets up an appeals process that could go all the way to the Supreme Court. 5:54 in your business headlines this morning. Rite Aid has announced it would close more than 300 stores, and this is on top of the more than 100 stores the company announced it intended to close when it filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy earlier this month. Also this month, Rite Aid sold most of its pharmacy services nationwide to rival CVS, Albertsons, Kroger, and Walgreens. The drugstore has about 1,200 operating stores, which is about half of what it had 2 years ago. And in your health headlines this morning, the Department of Health and Human Services has canceled a contract with Moderna for the development of a bird flu vaccine. The $590 million contract was announced just days before President Trump was sworn in for a second term. The announcement comes as Moderna reported positive data from an early phase trial on the mRNA-based vaccine. That is the same technology Moderna used to create its vaccine for COVID-19, which has been found to be safe and effective. However, in a statement on Wednesday, the department says the project does not meet scientific or safety expectations for continued investment. 5:55, talking sports this morning. The victory was short-lived for the Seattle Mariners as they played against the Washington Nationals once again, but this time didn't go as well. Last night, the Mariners left it all on the field, but nothing on the scoreboard, with the Nationals holding a 9-point lead over the team. The two face off for a final time tonight. Shaking your head over that, Josh. All right, trending this morning. All animals are special in their own right, but scientists wanted to know what makes orange kitties so unique.
I have a black cat, so I'm a little biased against this, but a new study has unraveled the long-standing mystery behind their golden hue. Scientists say they have an unusual mutation that likely occurred once during domestication and then was selectively bred for.
Okay, it may have happened hundreds of years ago since there are depictions of calico cats in Chinese art dating back to the 12th century. Huh.
I love cats.
Do you?
Just had to throw that one out there.
Aww.
Yeah, seeing that little guy, we're gal.
Yeah.
We're my heart. Yeah.
Yeah, what's your cat's name?
Mimi.
Mimi.
M-I-M-I. Mimi.
Mimi.
Yeah.
How old?
She is 4. I adopted her when she was 2. Now she's 4. They grow up so fast.
Time just flies, doesn't it?
Sure does.
I know. All right. So much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up at 6, local lawmakers took the stage to give you a closer look at what came out of the most recent legislative session. We have those details coming up. Plus, Hailey Bieber is singing Baby, Baby, Baby.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. All the way to the bank. She's selling her beauty brand. We have the details on who the new owners are and how much they paid. It's all in your 6 o'clock hour. And of course, Chief Meteorologist Josh Forecast tracking some wind.
Yes. If you like First Alert weather days, I got 3 of those things for you in the next hour. So that's going to be coming up on Good Morning Northwest at 6.